Good morning. My name is Michelle Nicewinder, Project Manager for the City of Topeka for the Eastside Sanitary Interceptor Rehabilitation Project. The need for this project stemmed from several things. First, the age of the assets are known to be approximately 100 years old. Second, there appeared to be a diminished flow capacity being realized in this area. And thirdly, these assets are all rather large in diameter, deep, and convey a significant portion of the city's sewage to the Oakland treatment plant. And in addition, through the presentation, you will see that the assets are located near the federally protected levee system of the Kansas River. Considering all of these factors in the city's risk-based approach, it was determined that the consequence of a significant failure causing both a negative economic and environmental impact was quite large. The purpose of this presentation is to provide the affected citizens and businesses with an overview of the more impactful construction activities including an estimated timeline. There are two other presenters that are key members of the project team, representing both the engineering design firm and the general contractor. They are Alex Darby, Project Manager for the Professional Engineering Consultants Group, and Daniel Shively, Project Manager for BRB Contractors Incorporated. And with that, I'll turn it over to Alex to provide a more detailed look at this project as we move forward with the presentation.
Thank you, Michelle. Here is a view of the project in a whole. The project generally begins at the intersection of Crane and Jackson near the Topeka Metro facility. It extends along Crane to Jefferson/River Road. At that point, it'll turn to the north and generally follows River Road until it reaches the Ash Street Pump Station, which is near River Road and Chandler. You can see here there are 3 to 4 different colors. Those represent the different phases of the project. The blue with red is the phase 1 piece of the project that Dan will talk about here shortly. The purple with pink dots is phase 2, and then the phase 3 work is in the green and orange. The project will generally extend from mid-May to late May of this year till early January of 2021. The work included is new interceptor sewer, large diameter by open cut, and there is just a photo example here, including new precast manhole structures that will go in. Those are generally shown with the brown dots here in phase 3, and as well as the green is the new sanitary sewer. We will use cured in place pipe rehabilitation practices. That is a trenchless technology. The video, you can click that from the project website. If the video doesn't work from the preview, there is a link located directly below it. That is just a brief introduction to how CIPP works. We are also using a geopolymer rehabilitation product as well for both manholes and lines. Again, we have a video showing that process down below and a link as well. In addition to new construction and rehabilitation, we will actually be doing some abandonment as well of some existing pipe and manhole structures, and those are shown in white and black dash on this view. With that, I'll turn it over to Dan to talk us through phase 1.
Thanks, Alex. So phase 1 construction, we're going to begin on Crane and Jackson, and it stretches over to the southeast corner of Hill's Pet Food there on Crane and River Road. We anticipate this work to begin mid-June to mid-August of 2020 is when we'll complete this work. Major work items in this section will be the trenchless CIPP process that Alex spoke about, which you can see there in blue. All of that will be replaced with that construction. They will come in and do the CIPP process, and then once that is done, the manhole rehabilitation that is linked up above is how these are being rehabilitated. During that construction phase, we will have crane, the center of crane barricaded off. There will still be access to all facilities, and while we're in there, if we are going to be near any site, that we'll give a 3-day notice prior to entering that location and beginning construction. Also, we asked during this time that there's no parking on the north side of Crane Street. We realize there are some businesses that have to utilize the north side of Crane Street, and we will do our best to work with them while we are near their facilities. We'll have no parking signs put up there just as a friendly reminder. But again, we will remain having people access to their facilities as needed.
One thing I did forget to mention is this work for the entire project is located, as Michelle said, very near the levee, and based on river level, that may impact the ability of the contractor to work through certain situations. So we'll have to monitor the river level through the construction phase, and there are some areas they could work on if the river does come up, but just another item that we have to address as part of construction. And did want to add that we will maintain two-way traffic on Crane during this phase of construction. But parking will be limited on that north side to allow that two-way traffic. So. Back to you, Dan, on phase 2.
Okay, so phase 2, we anticipate to start construction mid-September and going through mid-November to complete this phase of construction. During this phase of construction, we will also be utilizing the CIPP process there in that purple line that is going to stretch from a new manhole set on the west end there, that yellow dot, and it will run all the way over to the Ash Street pump station. Once the CIPP process is done, we can begin the manhole structure rehabilitation, which is also the Quadex product linked up above. We have 7 manholes that we have to rehab throughout there. Traffic control will be in place for this as well. River Road will be shut down to minimal traffic. Essentially, the 901 River Road Park facility and BNSF will still be able to gain access, and as well as Hills will have access to their loading dock and going back and forth over there. Traffic will be detoured, which we will see later in the slideshow. And then temporary road closures around the manholes that are actually out in River Road. We'll have temporary traffic control set up to keep our workers safe while we're doing those rehab processes. So phase 3 construction kind of hits there on that Crane and River Road intersection. While we have that construction going on, traffic control will be set up, and the roads will be they'll remain open to local traffic, from either the north or the south, depending on what phase of construction we're at in there. The signed detours will be provided mid-September to approximately mid-October, and then mid-December to approximately mid-January 21. That's kind of an overview on that. The anticipated scheduled date of phase 3 construction, we're anticipating breaking ground there in the Meyer Company Incorporated sometime June to July to begin our site construction on a new structure that we are constructing there in the southwest corner of that lot. Mid-September to mid-October is when we'll be doing some geopolymer rehab, which is the yellow lines on there. And then we'll also be doing some new manholes, which are the dark yellow dots. All this construction will be kind of fluid, as Alex mentioned. We are near the levee there in the Kansas River. And so depending on the levels there, we'll be moving around based on those levels. On the kind of right there on Crane Street, the green line that goes across River Road, this is one of our open cut portions of our work. So as soon as we start to go across there, traffic will be completely stopped there, but they will have access from the north coming down River Road, so that Hills can get to your loading docks as needed. And then along with that, the green line that comes across River Road right there, once we begin that excavation, once again, traffic coming from the north will be completely closed off, and the traffic will be allowed from the south to come in to access your loading docks. These will not be going on at the same time to allow for that traffic to come from either direction. And with that, I believe we'll look at the traffic control detour.
All right. Thank you, Dan.
Yep, thank you.
As Dan talked about, we do have one detour that we anticipate utilizing. But first, kind of to recap, phase 1, there along Crane, the street will remain open. Access to businesses will be maintained. Again, 3-day notice will be given prior to work starting in front of those businesses. Again, 2-way traffic. You may not be able to turn across Crane, but you will be able to access either east-west without any significant trouble. Phase 2 and 3, there will be this detour in place that's shown here on the screen, starting at Chandler and River, following Branner, 4th, Adams, back up to the intersection of Crane and River Road. Depending on if the contractor is working on structures directly adjacent to or within River Road, those will be up. The detour will be put up temporarily, and then taken down once it is safe and the work is complete. For phase 3, that detour will be placed in place for a slightly longer time frame, just because they are open cutting across River Road there to the south of Hills, and then also to the north of Hills. And as Dan said, those won't happen at the same time. So access will be maintained to Hills either from the north or the south at all times. And with that, I'll turn it back over to Michelle to close us out.
Yeah, so thanks, Alex and Dan. Very much appreciate your efforts and your explanation for the project here along Crane and River Road. As Alex mentioned, we provided the contacts for the contractor. Dan Shively is listed there, his cell number and email. Also, the superintendent with BRB is also listed. I'm listed under City of Topeka, and so is Alex. So please feel free to reach out to any of us, and we would be happy to provide further information and clarification as needed. The other thing I wanted to mention in closing is that the city's going to have a lot of construction activities that are going to be occurring again along Crane Street and River Road, both this project and another project further to the west. And we will be finishing up another project further to the east of this location. Again, the city's teams will strive to minimize as much as possible the impacts to the citizens and businesses. But I can't stress enough, please be mindful of all the changing traffic conditions. All the traffic detours and signages will be posted. And as both Alex and Daniel mentioned, this project is located in and near the Kansas River. And we're in springtime, and we all can remember last spring. So changing weather events and river levels can and will impact potentially some of these anticipated construction schedules or timelines that have been listed here. So with that, I thank again both of my team members and everyone out there. So thank you so much.